He loved the alien meant to kill him and save Earth. The sterile white walls of the Earth Defense Council's maximum security research facility seemed to close in around Dr. Rowan Sinclair as he reviewed the latest quantum resonance data. His fingers traced the holographic display, each line of code representing years of painstaking research that could potentially change the course of human civilization. Outside the reinforced windows, the early morning light of New Phoenix City cast long shadows across the gleaming infrastructure. Rowan barely noticed. His world had narrowed to the intricate algorithms dancing before his eyes, a delicate symphony of mathematical precision that might hold the key to humanity's most advanced defensive technology. A sudden alarm shattered his concentration. Red warning lights pulsed, and titanium blast doors began to seal automatically. Rowan's hand instinctively reached for the emergency communication panel, but before he could activate it, the door to his research lab exploded inward. Through the smoke and sparking electrical systems, a figure emerged. Kira Nexus stood in stark contrast to the clinical environment. Her skin shimmered with an iridescent green hue that seemed to absorb and reflect light simultaneously. Flowing dark teal hair cascaded past her shoulders, moving with an almost liquid grace. Her eyes, a piercing blue that seemed to hold entire galaxies, scanned the room with predatory precision. She wore minimal combat attire that highlighted her athletic, curvaceous form, a sleek ceremonial bra-like garment and fitted undergarments that looked more like advanced technological armor than traditional clothing. Intricate biomechanical implants traced delicate patterns along her exposed skin, pulsing with a soft bioluminescent glow. Rowan froze. He knew exactly who she was even before the briefings, even before the warnings. An alien operative from beyond the known star systems, sent with a singular, deadly purpose. His research had made him a target, the human key to an ancient galactic weapon that could tip the balance of power across multiple civilizations. Dr. Rowan Sinclair, Kira spoke, her voice a melodic blend of harmonic tones that seemed to resonate on multiple frequencies. Your work ends today. Her right hand transformed nanotechnological particles coalescing into a weapon that looked part organic, part machine. It hummed with destructive potential, calibrated to neutralize him with surgical precision. But something unexpected happened. Well, their eyes met. In that moment, something shifted. The calculated coldness in Kira's gaze flickered just for an instant with something more complex. Confusion, uncertainty, a hint of something that defied her mission's clinical parameters. Rowan didn't move, didn't speak. He simply looked at her, his scientific mind racing through 1,000 potential scenarios, analyzing every minute detail of their encounter. Director Helena Reese's voice crackled through the facility's communication system. Containment Protocol Alpha. Alien operative detected in Sector 7. Military-grade defense systems began powering up. Electromagnetic pulse generators charged. Titanium-reinforced barriers descended from the ceiling. The entire facility transformed into a weapon ready to neutralize the threat. Kira's weapon remained trained on Rowan, but her hand, almost imperceptibly, trembled. "You're not what I expected," she said, more to herself than to him. Rowan saw something in her expression, not just the cold calculation of an assassin, but a complexity that suggested something deeper: conflict, emotion, something that suggested she was more than just a weapon designed to eliminate a target. Their first encounter had begun, and nothing would be the same again. The fate of two civilizations hung in the balance, balanced on the razor's edge of a moment, and the unexpected connection between a human scientist and an alien operative who was supposed to kill him. But would she? 48 hours after the initial encounter, Rowan Sinclair found himself in a sterile interrogation room within the most secure wing of the Earth Defense Council's headquarters. Commander Marcus Valen paced before him, a holographic display flickering with intercepted alien communication protocols. "You're telling me," Valen's voice was a low, dangerous growl, "that when an alien operative with clear kill orders entered your laboratory, you did nothing?" Rowan's fingers traced the edge of the metallic table. The memory of Kira's eyes, that moment of unexpected vulnerability, burned in his mind. "She didn't fire," he said quietly. "Something stopped her." The door slid open, and Ambassador Zara Kal entered. Unlike the militaristic Commander Valen, she moved with diplomatic grace. Her skin was a pale lavender, adorned with intricate silver circuitry that seemed to pulse with its own internal light. She carried a data crystal that projected holographic fragments of intercepted communications. "Dr. Sinclair," Zara began, her voice a calculated blend of diplomacy and interrogation, "the operative known as Kira Nexus belongs to the Quantum Convergence, a specialized unit tasked with eliminating potential threats to galactic stability. Her mission was unequivocal: terminate your research and neutralize you." Rowan leaned forward, but she didn't. Commander Valen slammed his hand on the table. "We've tracked her movements. She's gone dark, disappeared from all known tracking systems. This is unprecedented. Quantum convergence operatives don't deviate, they don't hesitate." A holographic replay flickered to life, the moment in Rowan's lab captured by microscopic surveillance drones. Kira's weapon charged, then faltered, her eyes meeting Rowan's. That inexplicable moment of hesitation. "I need to understand why," Rowan said softly. Ambassador Kal's circuitry pulsed with what might have been concern. "Some things are better left unknown, Doctor. The gulf between your civilizations is wider than you can comprehend." But Rowan knew something had changed, something fundamental. Miles away, in a cloaked safe house nestled between dimensional folds, Kira Nexus fought an internal battle more complex than any military engagement. Her communication implants buzzed with urgent missives from her superiors, demands for mission completion, threats of complete neural recalibration. She remembered Rowan's eyes, not just the scientific calculation she'd expected, but something deeper, a vulnerability, a connection that defied her training. Her quantum-entangled communication device projected a holographic message from her primary handler. The message was clear: terminate the target, no exceptions. But her hand, the same hand that had transformed into a weapon in Rowan's lab, now trembled. Back in the interrogation room, Rowan made a decision that would change everything. "I want to understand her mission," he told Valen and Kal, "not to defeat it, to comprehend it." Commander Valen's laugh was harsh. "Comprehension? She was sent to kill you, to destroy your research, to prevent you from unlocking a weapon that could destabilize entire star systems." "Or protect them," Rowan countered. Ambassador Kal's circuitry flickered, a tell of internal conflict. "The weapon your research suggests, it's not just a defensive tool. It's a quantum key that could rewrite the fundamental laws of galactic interaction. In the wrong hands, it could annihilate entire civilizations." Rowan understood now why Kira had been sent, why her mission was so critical, why her hesitation was so dangerous to both her people and to Earth. "I need to find her," he said. Commander Valen's response was immediate: "Absolutely not." But Rowan had already made his choice. The scientific mind that had decoded quantum mysteries now turned to an even more complex problem: understanding Kira Nexus. Outside the facility, storm clouds gathered, a metaphorical and literal darkness approaching, carrying with it the promise of a conflict that would reshape everything they knew about connection, duty, and the thin line between destruction and salvation. The hunt, or perhaps the understanding, was about to begin. The quantum laboratory hummed with an otherworldly energy. Dr. Lydia Frost moved between holographic displays, her fingers dancing across quantum entanglement simulations that most human minds couldn't even begin to comprehend. General Derek Stone watched her work, his weathered face a mask of concentration and barely contained tension. The weapon, Stone said, more statement than question, it's not just a device. It's a fundamental rewriting of physical law. Lydia nodded, her auburn hair pulled back in a tight professional bun. Imagine a technology that doesn't just manipulate energy, but rewrites the very fabric of spatial temporal reality. The quantum convergence isn't just trying to prevent a weapon. They're trying to prevent a complete restructuring of universal physics. Across the city, Rowan Sinclair had gone rogue. Using connections he'd cultivated over years of classified research, he'd begun tracking Kira's quantum signature, a nearly impossible task that required technology pushing the boundaries of human understanding. In a hidden safe house suspended between dimensional folds, Kira Nexus recalibrated her biomechanical systems. The mission parameters that had once been crystal clear now seemed like a distant, fragmented memory. Her communication implants flickered with encrypted messages, warnings, threats, commands to complete her original objective. But something had fundamentally changed. Rowan's research wasn't just about a weapon. It was a key to understanding the deepest mysteries of quantum interaction between civilizations. And Kira knew her people feared this understanding more than they feared the weapon itself. A quantum entanglement tracker in Rowan's private lab suddenly came to life. A signal, faint, barely perceptible, but there. "Got you," Rowan whispered. Meanwhile, General Stone was briefing a select group of Earth's top scientific and military minds. The holographic display showed intricate diagrams of quantum flux, potential energy matrices that looked more like complex artwork than scientific schematics. Dr. Sinclair's research, Stone explained, suggests a method of quantum communication that could bridge entire civilizations. Not just communication, but fundamental understanding. Dr. Lydia Frost stepped forward. "It's more than translation. It's a way to understand the quantum consciousness of different species. Imagine being able to truly comprehend another civilization's thought patterns, their fundamental way of perceiving reality." The room fell silent. For Kira, the internal conflict reached a breaking point. The neural recalibration protocols her people used, designed to enforce absolute loyalty, began to fail. Something about her encounter with Rowan had fundamentally altered her quantum neural pathways. She made a decision. In a burst of quantum energy that would have been invisible to most sensors, Kira began to move. Not to complete her original mission, not to destroy, but to understand. Rowan's tracker began to pulse more intensely. General Stone's communication device chirped, an encrypted message, coordinates, a quantum signature that shouldn't exist. "He's found her," Lydia said softly. The quantum weapon, or perhaps the key to understanding between civilizations, was about to take its next critical step. Rowan knew the risks. Every calculation, every moment of his research had led to this point. A convergence that could either save humanity or destroy everything they knew about their place in the universe. His fingers traced a final quantum alignment sequence. A connection imminent. The universe held its breath. The abandoned research station on Titan's methane plains looked like nothing more than a forgotten outpost. But beneath its frost-covered exterior, a quantum storm was brewing. Admiral Tristan Wolfe stood before a holographic display, his fingers clenched into tight fists. "We've lost contact with Dr. Sinclair," he announced to the gathered intelligence team. "And now we have a new problem." Arya Solis stepped from the shadows, a rogue operative whose very existence challenged everything known about interstellar protocols. Her skin shifted between translucent and solid, a living camouflage that spoke to technologies far beyond human comprehension. "The quantum convergence is coming," Arya said, her voice a multitonal whisper that seemed to originate from multiple points simultaneously. "And they're not just coming for Sinclair or Kira Nexus. They're coming to prevent a fundamental shift in galactic understanding." Rowan and Kira had disappeared from all known tracking systems, their quantum signatures intertwined in a way that defied conventional physics. Their connection, part scientific, part something entirely inexplicable, had become a threat greater than any weapon. Deep within a pocket dimension, Rowan worked feverishly. Kira watched, her biomechanical systems interfacing directly with his research. What had begun as a mission of elimination had transformed into something far more complex. "They'll never understand," Kira said, her blue eyes reflecting holographic data streams. "The quantum convergence believes protection means isolation, control, but what we've discovered is that true protection comes from understanding," Rowan finished. Admiral Wolf's team tracked quantum anomalies that suggested something unprecedented was happening. Dimensional barriers were becoming permeable. The very fabric of spacetime seemed to be reshaping itself around Rowan and Kira's research. Arya Solis approached a secured communication terminal. "The weapon isn't a device," she transmitted to a hidden network. "It's knowledge, a way of perceiving reality that could collapse entire systemic beliefs." Back on Titan, the research station began to pulse with an energy that defied natural laws. Quantum entanglement reached critical mass. The line between observer and observed, between different civilizations, between potential futures, began to blur. Commander Marcus Valen received encrypted transmissions that made no sense. Fragments of data that suggested Rowan and Kira were no longer just individuals, but had become something else entirely. A quantum bridge, a living communication protocol. "We can't contain this," Dr. Lydia Frost whispered, analyzing impossible data streams. "Whatever they're becoming, it's beyond our current understanding of physics, of communication, of existence itself." Kira's biomechanical systems began to merge with Rowan's research equipment. Not a physical merger, but a quantum-level integration that suggested a new form of consciousness. Her original mission, to eliminate a potential threat, now seemed like a primitive concept from a distant, limited perspective. Admiral Wolf made a decision. "Prepare the quantum isolation protocol," he commanded, a last resort measure designed to contain potentially universe-altering events. But even as he spoke, he knew it was already too late. Arya Solis watched the quantum readings with a smile that was both a warning and a celebration. "The convergence," she whispered, "is already happening. The barriers between civilizations, between known and unknown, between thought and reality, began to dissolve." And at the center of it all, Rowan and Kira continued their work. No longer just a human scientist and an alien operative. Something more, something that would change everything. The final stage of their transformation was about to begin. The United Earth Governance Chamber fell silent as President Olivia Hartman approached the central podium. Outside the chamber's reinforced windows, the skyline of New Phoenix City flickered with quantum stabilization fields, a testament to how much had changed in mere weeks. Elder Zoran, representative of the Galactic Confederation, stood to her left. His form was translucent, shifting between solid matter and pure energy, a living representation of the quantum breakthrough that had transformed everything. "What we once considered impossible," President Hartman began, her voice steady, "has become our new reality. The transformation of Rowan Sinclair and Kira Nexus had become the pivotal moment in galactic history. They were no longer separate entities, but a living quantum interface, a bridge between civilizations that redefined the very concept of communication, understanding, and connection. In the chamber's holographic display, their merged quantum signature pulsed, a complex, beautiful pattern that spoke of potentials beyond human or alien comprehension. Elder Zoran's voice resonated through the chamber, not just as sound, but as a multidimensional communication. The weapon you feared, he explained, was never a device of destruction. It was a method of understanding, of truly seeing another. Rowan and Kira, now a single quantum consciousness, existed simultaneously everywhere and nowhere. Their original missions, their individual identities, had dissolved into something far more profound. Admiral Tristan Wolfe, seated in the diplomatic section, remembered the moments leading to this transformation. The fear, the uncertainty, the moment everything changed. Arya Solis stood at the chamber's periphery, her form still shifting, a living testament to the fluidity of existence that Rowan and Kira had unveiled. She was both observer and participant in this cosmic revelation. We misunderstood protection, the merged consciousness of Rowan and Kira communicated, their message translating across every language, every frequency. Protection is not about isolation. It's about connection, understanding, seeing the universe through another's perspective. President Hartman's hand trembled slightly as she addressed the chamber. The quantum breakthrough meant more than technological advancement. It was a fundamental reimagining of consciousness itself. Dr. Lydia Frost, now part of the primary research team, explained the technical implications. They've created a living quantum communication protocol, not just a method of translation, but a way of truly experiencing another's entire existential framework. The quantum convergence, the very organization that had initially sent Kira to eliminate Rowan, now stood transformed. Their mission of preventing potential threats had been completely restructured. Elder Zoran spoke again. What began as a potential conflict has become our greatest opportunity, a bridge between civilizations that eliminates the very concept of other. Commander Marcus Valen, who had once seen only potential threats, now understood the profound nature of their discovery. The quantum weapon was not a device of destruction, but of ultimate connection. In that moment, humanity and its galactic neighbors understood a fundamental truth. True protection comes not from building walls, but from breaking them down. From seeing, from understanding. Rowan and Kira's merged consciousness pulsed with a final message, a quantum signature that carried more meaning than words could ever capture. Love, understanding, connection. The universe listened, and everything changed.